I love the word grit. Like you just have to have the grit for it to go for it. Don't accept no. I rarely accept a no. Although I will say this, it's I shouldn't say I don't accept a no. I actually appreciate no's. Uh, as someone who has, my faith is really important to me, and so many times, like I've prayed for something, and it wasn't until later in life that I realized, as I was praying for something, like for example, like oh God, I would really love to, for me to be able to buy this new car, and then I go and let's go younger years, and I go and say, I really want to buy this new car, and the payments are going to be $800 a month, and the loan guy says, yeah, denied, you can't afford that. And then I would get mad. I'd be like, God, I prayed for it. I really thought I wanted it. And then I'm reminded later on in life, it's like that no kept me from going bankrupt. That no prevented me from, like overexerting myself financially and putting myself in a really, really bad spot at a young age. So what I've learned is that a no is just as powerful as a yes. So when I'm talking to people and I'm saying, or I'm going after companies, or I'm trying to sell a product or whatever, I'm okay with a no. In some no's, I look at it like, hey, door shut, let's move on. Like I don't. That's in some cases I'm like, thank God they said no. Then other places where they say no, I just look at it like, okay, it's no for right now. So let's do, how about, I'll try back, in a different approach. And what's funny is one of our larger agencies, when we acquired it, I was originally told no. I was actually denied the acquisition, and I remember I wrote like a 5-page letter explaining why I thought that was a bad decision. And 3 months later, we were approved for that same acquisition. So, I took the no, but then I used that no as a motivator to get me to where I want to be. By the way, the person who said no is no longer with the company, and I'm still here, 8 years later. So, or 5 years later from that acquisition. So it just goes to show, like, you don't necessarily give up, but it's okay to accept a no and make sure you realize that is just as powerful as a yes.
A few years ago, I interviewed the People Shark Damon John, and I asked him, "What do you do when you get a no?" And his response is similar to you. It's like a no is a definitely maybe or something like that.
Yeah,
And
some
it's like
down the
learn
road.
from it. Don't just get the no. Like figure out why it's a no. Figure out why it's a yes. Figure out why it's a not yet. All those things are really, really important. And I like the way that you articulated that about faith, where I think a lot of people do this wrong, where I really want this thing, I'm praying for it, and it didn't happen. And you said, well, actually that no was actually you receiving that prayer in a different way, because you didn't go into the wrong thing, because you really couldn't handle that yet. And I think that's something that I think a lot of people mishandle. And I think you articulated that really, really well.
Yeah, I've come a long way, and I mean, I can go back to 20 years ago. I was sleeping on a bed that I didn't own, in a house that I barely even could afford rent in the room. I had a 500 credit score, and I had $100 in my name, and it was like a Thanksgiving morning. And I remember I got up, and my roommates that were there, they took off to their girlfriend's house or their family. I didn't have any family here. And I just remember I just sat back and I said, either I can sulk here and be miserable and depressed, or I can use this as my way of learning from it and growing from it. And here I am 20 years later, and we have 5 companies. We're building a new company that we're super excited about over at Magazine Jukebox, and we just if you put the time in, and you focus, and you figure out your why, and don't give up, man, it's amazing what can happen.
I've been directly involved within our entrepreneurial community for years. And the most common question I get is, Tim, I want to get involved, but I don't know what events I should attend. Well, Startwheel eliminates that pain point, because we consolidate all the events you should attend into a single calendar. Now you'll be in the know and see where to spend your time. Gone is the need to search multiple websites and calendars. Just head to startwheel.org and see for yourself. That's startwheel.org.